People need to make up their minds about Mikel Arteta. Don't get it twisted. Positive criticisms, negative connotations around what you're doing on a football pitch, or in Mikel Arteta's case, what you're doing as a manager, are irrelevant. This is what football is about. You deserve to be praised or critiqued appropriately. And we all know, come on, I'll be honest, I'm one of the most balanced YouTubers there is, or football content creators. But we all love a bit of an agenda. We all love a bit of a joke. We love to do that stuff, really and truly. But for me, I'm not going to lie, I don't understand how the goalposts keep changing around Arsenal Football Club and obviously Mikel Arteta. Now, I know, like every fan base, Arsenal fans can be quite special. They can be the most positive people on the planet, especially after winning the North London derby or last season beating Manchester City. Likewise, a couple of results, and these same players that they proclaimed are the best thing since sliced bread, it really changes. And I know there were some Arsenal fans that were saying bring everyone, including Real Madrid, in the Champions League last season, and then waffling about how we haven't got players with X factor. But there is one thing that annoys me about conversations around Mikel Arteta. One minute he's a Pep Guardiola clone, he's trying to be Pep, he's Pep's homeboy. The next minute he's Tony Pulis. Make up your mind. What is the man going to be? What is he? Is he a Pep? Is he copying Pep, or is he copying Tony Pulis? Again, they're very two contrasting managers. The only common denominator is football. You need to put the ball in the opponent's net. No matter how you set up, that's what you got to do. That's the only thing Pep and Tony Pulis share. Even with that, obviously, the way Pep defends is very different to Tony Pulis. But you really think Pep doesn't put defending first? You really think Pep doesn't value the aspect of defending? But specific to Mikel Arteta, for me, it does not make sense. And it's not necessarily a criticism, because if you can copy bits and pieces from Pep Guardiola and Tony Pulis, you've got a very complete team. You look at Jose Mourinho as well with his defensive outlook. Defense wins titles, and Arsenal haven't won a title yet. But, I personally believe, goals win games, defense wins titles. We've got a defense or a defensive, we've got defensive options, defensive depth, good defenders, two of the best individual centre halves in the Premier League, and Gabriel as a duo, two of the best in the Premier League and as a duo in world football. I think the whole ethos on defending, as we know in the modern day, your first attacker is David Raya or whatever keeper you guys have at your clubs. If you don't support Arsenal, that is your first point of attack. That's why you waffle about goalies being able to play with their feet. Your first defender for Arsenal's case at this moment in time is Kai Havertz, and when Odegaard's there, typically Martin Odegaard. So I understand that, but it doesn't make sense to me. And I think the goalposts move. I like our defensive outlook. I think we've got the defense and the ethos on defending to, of a title winning side. Scoring goals, I don't quite think goals win games. I don't think we have that. Yes, we've got 91 goals last season. Kai Havertz is still doing his thing. Saka is obviously Mr. Consistent. You've got Trossard and potentially Gabriel Jesus and Sterling that can chip in. We've got centre halves, or from set pieces, we're always going to get more goals, really. But I don't think we've got, the goals to win games when we're not necessarily playing well. We can get away with it, but on a consistent basis, really, really and truly. It jars me, because you have to make up your mind. And Mikel Arteta, I like what you're doing. I tend to, right now, I'm Mikel Arteta in. If things go left, I'm Mikel Arteta out. I just want the best thing for Arsenal Football Club. Now, for me, granted, the conversation has shifted to, can Mikel Arteta get it over the line? Can we get some penetration rather than the last 2 years now? At the third time of asking, there's been a lot of foreplay. Now, can we get some penetration? One love for the rebuild, one love for making us competitive again, for bringing the defensive aspects, for all of the good things about Arsenal Football Club, whether people want to praise us or not. One love for that, Arteta. Now it's about silverware. Now it's about, etching things in history. But I like Mikel Arteta. Again, 1 minute you're in, you're out. I think there's more reasons to keep him than obviously than to sack him, if that makes sense, people. Of course, if the longer it goes that we can't get a major trophy over the line, do you assess your options? Of course, I'm not, Mikel Arteta isn't Arsene Wenger to me, or wouldn't be what City are saying with Pep or Liverpool with Klopp. I don't think he's earned that right for me, as speaking for myself as a football fan, to kind of back you regardless, and you're my guy regardless. I don't think you've earned that territory, but I like what you're doing, people. Arsene Wenger was the original father. Right now, Mikel Arteta is not the stepdad, he's the dad that stepped up, and you're doing your thing. I like how we defend. I know people sit there and say, oh, you set up for a draw and this and that. People are overdoing it. Let's be honest. People can talk about Spurs dominated the North London derby, etc. My first point is, one thing, I'm not being funny. I'm an Arsenal fan. During the Emirates era, in its totality. How many times were we competitive, dominate proceedings, go toe to toe, lacking a bit of street smart, statistics, possession, shots, all them things there even. The only stat that matters is putting the ball in your opponent's net more times than they do yours. And what Spurs have failed to understand is you can have all the possession. That's what people used to do to Arsenal. Logically, in the North London derby, we can't press to the same way we can. And you could see it. We didn't press as aggressively or as high. We waited for them to get further up the pitch. Obviously, we can't expose our centre midfielders. We're one of the best defensive sides in world football. So we said, you know what? These lot are happy to have possession. They're going to have the 12th man, the North London derby, etc., etc. Let them come have all that possession, break us down. Spurs moved the ball too slowly. We know we're going to get opportunities. We had half chances in open play. We did what we needed to do from a set piece. You can't have it both ways. You can't want us. And I'm not being funny. Who cares about the casual fan being entertaining? I don't want to be like Spurs. Oh, we pressed with we had a high line with 9 men. What does that mean? Where are Spurs with all of that possession they've had in these games? Because the only one win they've got of note is Everton, and Everton have been piss poor, pardon my French, this season. It has not made it. It does not make any sense. They can have possession. They've got their lowest points tally, I believe, at this point this season since 2015-16. You look at Jurgen Klopp. They used to be heavy metal from start to finish. When he started to improve the defensive outlook on the team, in addition to bringing in Alisson and obviously Van Dijk on top of everything they did, their fortunes changed. You know, you look at the City game, naturally, you're going to have to respect City. You know, you're going to have to box smart. You're going to have to potentially, if it was a boxing match, try win on points. You have to. We can't match Man City off the ball. I mean, on the ball. We can't. Yeah, we've got some 11 that you could argue make a combined City 11, but we can't match them. Where you can be even, where you might be inferior in terms of the manager tactically and all that stuff, is off the ball and be difficult to break down and be resolute defensively. Of course, you've got to take your chances. And for me to know whether we win a league or win at games or not, to know to a degree, we can go to Anfield, we can go to the Etihad, we can go to difficult games, and, you know, there's a level of performance, and now there's a street smartness, and now there's an element of winning ugly. This is what City do. City are not, as great as they are, and Haaland's as amazing as he is, they're not blowing teams out the door week in, week out. Sometimes it's just in a positive way. Like the Spurs game, 6 out of 10 performance. Get your chances, take it, be competent defensively, get the 3 points, F off and go think of Atalanta and City. But back to Mikel Arteta, sorry. It don't make sense. You know, 1 minute he's Tony Pulis, then he's Pep Guardiola clone. You can't have it both ways, in my opinion. It's quite jarring. Now, for me, I think what goes under the radar a lot, obviously, Mikel Arteta is Spanish. He's, you know, lived, you know, got history with Sociedad, got, you know, them kind of clubs around that indirectly. La Masia, played in France, obviously learnt from Pep Guardiola, learnt from Wenger, rubbed shoulders with a lot of people. Of course, but a lot of his playing time is shaped, or I believe how he looks at Premier League football is obviously going to be shaped by fighting for titles with City, but also his playing days with Everton, where they were on the back foot. They had to be resolute defensively. There was an emphasis on winning duels and all of those things. So if he could take a mixture from everyone and be great, that's all I want. There's nothing new under the sun. As Pep Guardiola said, he's nothing but an idea thief. That is all it is, you know. Naturally, you're going to take things from other people and mix it and add your own blend, which I think Mikel Arteta has his own way of playing, really and truly. He's still probably discovering himself as a manager. Again, he's been, you know, I know Arsenal fans don't want to hear it, but he's been here 5-6 years now. You know, he's been here since 2019. Of course, in terms of us wanting to win silverware and trophies, he's been here for a minute. But in the hot seat as a head coach, that's a baby. You look at Pep Guardiola, consistently had to evolve. Wenger consistently had to evolve. Jose consistently had to evolve. Alex Ferguson consistently had to evolve. That is what's part of being a manager. So it jars me, people, but agendas are going to agenda, man. That's all I wanted to say, really and truly. I just wanted to get that off my chest. There was no real meaning behind the video. As I said, agendas are going to agenda. Media are never going to be fair. I don't really care what they have to say, but I just wanted to get that off my chest. So yeah, smash the like button, comment, and all those good things. Peace.